Hope reaches. I look up and find a break in the heavy clouds. Through the ominous curtains that fold within themselves with vapors of silvery cream, I see a stretch of deep blue, and it reminds me of the hope I hold on to. And when I see with hopeful eyes, my heart reaches for you. During those days when grief, pain, and sorrow try to overtake me, I remember you are my strength and my song. I take refuge in the shadow of your wing. When my feet are heavy and I feel paralyzed, it is your love that reaches for me. Chapter 4. Hope soars. Hope soars on high. It carries and it lifts me up. Isaiah 40, verse 31. I remember as a youngster, one of my simple pleasures was kite flying. This basic exercise in wind physics and gravity meant I would be able to enjoy staring up into the wide open sky to my plastic colorful glider for upwards of over an hour. No electronics present, no power supply required, but it was pure fun. The best part of the whole experience was probably selecting my favorite design, because they ranged anywhere from soaring eagles with spread open wings and its talons at the ready to a superhero like Superman in his favorite pose on the underside. When the kite soared into the atmosphere, whatever animal, character, or colorful pattern I chose would hang over my part of the city where I lived, so very high up in the air. It was sort of like my proud banner waving and hovering in the wind for all to see. There were times when the spool of the string provided with the kite was simply not enough. Why? Because all of its 50 feet was used up and there were no additional reserves left for newer heights. So, I would always have at least one pal with me, and either that person or someone they could summons for help would provide some of their own string. Another spool was brought with haste by a dispatched sprinter, and I began to graft the new spool of string into the existing one attached to the kite. It was accomplished by a super special knot, sort of like NASA uses in their space program, and I would unravel the next spool of string slowly. It was terrific when the plan worked. Now my kite was able to extend further and further away from Earth. I was concerned that a strong gust of wind would create enough force and bust the string through the plastic fastener at the kite's underside. But after a while, it soared so high into the deep blue skies that it was hardly visible. It looked like a mere speck to our eyes. Then we got really creative. We grabbed a used small paper bag, usually from a nearby store or McDonald's, because we most often found ourselves standing in the rear parking lot of this fast food restaurant, and created a wind sail. A clean tear was made along the length of the paper bag and into the base so that it ended directly in the center of the bottom of the bag. Then we used some magic clear tape, same stuff NASA uses, I'm sure, and performed our task. The bag was carefully placed onto the tight string through the tear until it reached the end of the opening. Then we taped the tear so that it regained its original bag shape. When we were done, the bag was positioned open end facing me, sort of like a parachute, and it was evenly secured with the string right through its center. Perfect! We looked at each other as if this was some momentous occasion. Then we released the paper bag. The wind began to carry our homemade sail upwards several inches at a time until it was being carried away towards the kite, hundreds of feet skyward. Whoa, we would exhale. It was an amazing sight for sure. With every stronger gust of wind, the bag carried higher and soared greater. And that's how hope is. When the circumstances are huge, hope just soars higher over it and carries our hearts to a place that is amazing. It doesn't even rely on our own supply of string or a nearby friend for theirs. When you find yourself facing the walls of despair, hope will lift and help you to soar.